Yes, we know. You've been waiting, and we've been waiting to meet you too. It's the Leaders World brought to you by Leaders World Institute, and today is Labor Day. So, happy Labor Day. Most countries celebrate Labor Day today, May 1st. Happy Labor Day. Guess what? He is here with us. And who is he? He is not a stranger to us. He is known nationally, internationally. He has participated in two FIFA World Cups, South Africa 2010 and Brazil 2014, two African Cups, African Nations Cups in Angola and Equatorial Guinea. He is a former Ajax and vice captain of the Cameroon Indomitable Lions. He holds a master's degree in sports management and lifestyle from Rome Business School in Italy. He is the founder of 4P Baller, a sports management and educational agency with the goal of helping professional footballers achieve all round success. He is a relationship coach and a conference speaker and a mentor to many young aspiring professionals in different fields. His latest online course, Awaken the Tiger in You, is set to be the #1 success mentorship program in professional football. He is married to Bernadette Enoh. They are blessed with 5 children, and they live in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. I didn't tell you, but I'm about to reveal. He has just released his latest book, How to Become a Successful Professional Footballer. We're going to talk a little bit about this book. So if you're there, ladies and gentlemen, join me. Let's welcome today Eyong Enoh. Whoosh, you made it.
Yes, I did. I did. I did. So excited, so happy to be here with you today.
just entering your home right now from the plane. I was like, oof, this man is on the move. Thank you so much
Yes.
for saying yes to our invitation. Our guests, our audiences, they are waiting
Mm.
for you. And we are here to talk passion, purpose, and performance. When
Mm.
we thought about this topic, we were like, who do we bring to come talk to us on passion, purpose, and performance? And it was obvious it was just you we needed to have. Thank you
Wow.
so much for coming.
I'm so excited.
For your corporate and personal needs.
Leaders World Institute, changing lives, one leader at a time.
Once again, thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure to be on the Leaders World with you today. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we are talking passion, purpose, and performance. Don't you
Okay.
think these words are overused? What is the relevance of these words into this world where everywhere is like the buzzwords: passion, purpose, performance?
Yeah, I think these are very three powerful words. You can call it the three P's. You can call it the three P's. Uh, Purpose, passion, and performance. And I think it's always good to start with purpose.
Okay.
So, where if you don't start with purpose, one of the things is that you will not, your passion will not be properly guided, and definitely your performance will be in the wrong direction. So, like Miles Monroe says, when purpose is not known, when the meaning of something is not known, the abuse is inevitable. So, once you don't know exactly what you're called to do, you will put passion in the wrong things, and it will definitely produce wrong performance in the wrong direction. So I think these three words are very connected. It's a little bit like, as a Bible scholar, I love this verse of scripture which talks about having zeal without knowledge. So zeal actually could be just having so much passion, but you lack knowledge. It means you lack the knowledge, you lack the understanding. You didn't have the proper meaning behind what you're doing, but you were zealous about it. So I think these three words are very important because they shape us, they shape nations, they shape institutions, and they shape most of the things that we see around. And you're right, they overused, misused, and wrongly used as well.
overused, misused, and wrongly used. But if there is something we want to remember, is to start with purpose.
Yes.
Because when we understand our purpose, we are able to apply our passions in the right direction and be able to get the right performance in the right places. We don't want to perform. It's good to always perform, because if you are somebody that's intent on performing well, everywhere you find yourself, you want to perform well. What message do you have to our audiences about performance right now?
Well, I think performance, every human being that was created or that is born, they are born to deliver something. So I would just use whatever thing you have around you. If you have a phone, there's a certain expectation you have of that phone. You bought the phone with an expectation to call, to send messages. If you've got a car, there's an expectation you have of that car. What the car can do, the car can drive, the car can protect you, the car can take you to places. So as every human being has this unusual insight, desire to perform, to deliver results at different levels. So that word is key for every person. Performance is just producing results. Performance is actually expressing capacity, expressing potential, expressing abilities in a way that is adding value, in a way that is causing you to grow, and in a way that is actually changing the lives of people around you. And performance, again, like we said, connected to purpose, performance can be also, if you're not capture what performance is, you could think you're performing when you're actually not performing. So that's why I need to define later on, in as we move on, I would define performance in line with purpose and performance in line with ambition. I'm going to connect those two words as we move forward.
Thank you so much for this wonderful kick-off. Performance is adding value to others. It's in a way that causes you to grow.
Yeah.
It's not just about taking care of others and forgetting yourself.
Yeah.
It's adding value to others in a way that causes you to grow as well. I just love it. I just love it. And I won't wait for later on for you to make this connection with ambition. Let's do it now.
Okay, so if I have to talk about ambition, then I have to connect it a little bit to identity. I have to connect it a little bit to identity. As a young man, let me quickly use my story to just buttress that point between ambition and connected to performance. As a young man, I was very talented, and I'm still very talented, but I was playing football out of ambition. There was no clear vision, there was no clear purpose for why I was playing football. It all came from self, what I wanted to do and what others said about me. Oh, you're very good, or you're very talented, oh, you can play football. And in my mind, I wanted to get the accolades, I wanted to get the attention, and I also wanted to succeed like other people. So that was an ambition, and ambition in itself could not be wrong, but ambition could be misleading,
Mm,
because it can lead you to self-centeredness, it can lead you to pride, it can lead you to selfishness, it can lead you to, I want to achieve it at all costs. It doesn't matter what I do and how I make people feel, whatever I'm going to hurt people, it doesn't matter. Ambition is about making that thing happen for you, irrespective of the pain or the discomfort or the destruction that is going to cause for other people. And when you shift that, so such a kind of performance produced out of ambition can be very destructive for you as a person, and destructive also for the people around you. So it's like stepping on others to get to what you call your goal. That's what
wow.
ambition would do.
Wow.
But when you define,
Maybe
yes,
ambition not properly defined in the context of adding value to others.
yes,
I am a little bit careful with our use of the word ambition, because it's been used in some places in a way that has instead stifled people from
mm,
dreaming.
yeah,
Like, oh, don't have ambition.
yeah, yeah,
Excuse me, what do you
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Stifling people from dreaming, because they are like, okay, if I'm dreaming, it means I have ambition. And oh, ambition, maybe it's a bad thing. I shouldn't be ambitious,
Mm,
but I like the way you explain it, that if it's not properly understood, it would be used to bring down other people and trying to succeed at any cost, irrespective of the destruction that it's bringing.
Yeah,
So we are looking at the proper perspective of you dreaming, of you striving to um, have your purpose manifest,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly. And that's why I think when someone understands their purpose, one of the things that helps an ambitious person is purpose.
Mm,
So, because ambition is self driven, but purpose is people driven. Purpose is about solving things that does not directly relate to you. So, but you need both. You
oh,
need you need personal ambition, self ambition, to be able to serve people in purpose. So those two
mm.
words are very connected. And I think purpose is like the map that guides your ambition.
Wait, that sounded so good. Do you want to just say it again?
Purpose is like the map that guides your ambition.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm speaking from personal experience. Like I said, I was a young man, was ambitious, and it was about myself, which is good. But I didn't understand the bigger impact of the things I was doing beyond myself. When I came to purpose became clear for me, it didn't dwindle my ambition. It gave my ambition direction.
Oh, when purpose became clear for you, it gave your ambition direction, which
Yes.
means the clearer we are with purpose, the better we can see where we are going, even with the drive that's
Yeah.
within us called ambition.
Yes.
Wow.
Ambition that is not clearly defined by purpose, instead of giving you clear direction, is going to make you destructive.
Well, if you're watching us, you know how it's rolling already. Share this, invite somebody. You don't, come on, these are leadership, timeless principles that can change anybody's life. And while you're here, please take note that we need you to move one step forward.
Yeah.
So write down your action points. We are all for action points. By the time you leave this session, by the time you leave this broadcast, this live stream, make sure you have your next action point. We are talking passion, purpose, and performance. If you're watching us, interact with us. Let's know you're there. Put in the chat the three P's. The
Yes.
three P's, the three P's, the three P's. Put that in the chat. I like how you talked about when ambition is not properly guided by purpose, it could become destructive to others. I'm looking at the world where we live now and the influence of social media in our lives, and we know how powerful social media is. And these days, people just want to be famous for being famous.
Mm,
Not necessarily for any impact that they're having, in
mm.
positive impact that they're having in the community,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just for being famous. What would
Yeah.
you tell us as far as passion, purpose, and performance, and all these social media and proper use of social media?
Well, I had a conversation with a young Cameroonian brother, and he was asking me, how did you deal with the fame when you got into that certain level of football? How did you deal with the fame? Did it change you? Did it affect you? And the first thing I said to him is that, um, again, when purpose is understood, your approach to things, everything has a different meaning. It has the direction to it is completely different.
There is an alignment.
There is an alignment. So what I said to him is that there is a purpose for the fame. When
Mm,
you don't understand the purpose from the fame, and then you're going to abuse it. So I told him, I said, for me, what you call fame was positioning for service.
wow,
That's what I call it.
wait. So fame is not bad. Like, Yes,
No, it
to be
isn't. It
famous.
isn't. It isn't bad because people are looking for models. People are looking for
Oh, I see.
examples.
I
People are
see.
looking for people they can which areas they want to go to. But sometimes they need someone who has gone there, and they can
Mhm.
see that hey, it's possible. I can
Oh,
also go there, and fame is necessary. It's important because without fame, there will not be attention. People cannot look onto another person and see that it's possible, that there's a model. For me, where I came from, playing football and being as a Christian that I am wasn't something very common. And many people didn't buy into it in the days when I started. But there
yeah.
were a lot of young people who had the same talent, but they had no one to look up to, no model, no example. So definitely today, over I think millions of young people looking at me and hearing my story, believe that it's possible to also make it at that level as a Christian or as a young man or in a difficult situation. So I think fame in itself is nothing bad. It is the purpose behind it, how you understand it. And again, like I said, for me, purpose is a positioning for service.
It is a positioning for service. It is a positioning to add value to more people.
Yeah,
It's like it's like climbing in your influence, increasing in your influence, enlarging your scope of influence so that more people can benefit of the gift
yeah,
of the gift of who you are,
yeah,
because we are gifts to our
yeah,
world,
yeah.
aren't we?
Yes, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I'm just thinking about how you talk about the millions of young people who are looking up to you because of the positioning that you have, the platform that you have around the world right now, and how you are such a gift to them right now, and you're a gift to me and a gift to all of us right now. And which means that staying small should not be our aim, staying small should not be our goal.
Mm, mm, mm. Yes, yes. No, I love what you say. Staying small. Anyone listening to me should please catch this. Staying small is like saying being a seed and remaining a seed.
What? Now you just amplified it. You just amplified the whole thing. Can you
Yeah,
say
just
that
just
again?
just think about it. That when you say staying small, anyone would think that they're supposed to stay small and be small. They are like a seed with the whole potential of becoming a big tree and
Mm,
just being happy being a seed.
so,
So it's abuse
mm,
for a
mm.
seed carrying a tree to remain a seed.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it is.
Abuse of the potential, abuse to who gave you those potentials. I remember my mentor, John Maxwell. He says that God's gift to you is potential, and your
Mm,
gift back to Him
mm,
is what you do with that
what you do.
potential.
Yeah,
So my question to you watching us now is, hmm, what are you doing with that seed?
yeah,
Yes, you have that seed, and it's hidden within you. It's not far away from you, so you don't struggle to find it. It's right there. What
mm,
are you doing with that seed? It's your job to make it grow.
yeah.
It's your job to make it grow. Thank you so much. How can my vocation become my purpose? Is my purpose my vocation? Is my vocation my purpose? We always have these questions that are being asked about vocation, assignment, purpose. Can you just delve into that a little bit for us?
Okay, I'll just use a practical example of myself, which I think a lot of people can connect to. My vocation or career, as some other people would put it, I'm playing football, so I'm a professional footballer. Now, through football, I can fulfill purpose. My vocation is a platform. My vocation is a setup. Number one, for me to fulfill purpose. Number two, for me to develop myself and to be trained to fulfill what some of the things that I am called to do. Now, playing football in itself is not my purpose. Being a banker in itself doesn't mean that's your purpose. Being a teacher in itself doesn't mean that's your purpose. Now, purpose is what you do with your vocation. Purpose is what you do with your career. So, as a teacher, I teach students, but purpose gives me clear direction on what to teach, how to teach, the value that I bring in how I teach. And that's where my difference is expressed. Purpose makes you different. Purpose makes you stand out. While other people are looking at the children and just thinking, I'm just going to give them knowledge and leave them. Another person is saying, I'm going to give them knowledge. I'm going to give them attention. I'm going to make them feel special. I'm going to make them feel great. This is something bigger than just teaching. It's purpose that is moving teaching. So we talk about work, but we'll also talk about a job. So a job again is your vacation, but work is what you were born to do. And again, like I said, your vacation should be a means for you to fulfill purpose. And if you find yourself in a vocation or in a job that does not permit you, allow you to express purpose, to be authentic, to be full of life, then that's not necessarily the platform that you should be there. If you just needed to get,
Because your job is a setup,
it's a
your
setup.
career is a setup, your
Yeah.
vocation, I got those words from you. You said it's a setup. So
It
right
is.
now, listen, you're watching this. Are you in a setup? If you are in a setup, how can you fulfill purpose in that setup? If you try to fulfill purpose and it's not working, maybe it's not the setup. Do you need a switch so you can be in the setup? And let's also remember that vision enlarges.
Yeah,
Where you begin doesn't necessarily mean you have to remain there for life.
exactly. Yeah,
That's why sometimes we even change complete careers.
yeah, yeah,
You can change a
yeah.
complete career. It doesn't mean that you lost purpose. Can you?
No.
I see you saying yes. Yep. Yep. Can you
Yes.
speak a little bit into that?
Yes, again, like I said, all vocations are opportunities for you to fulfill purpose. And sometimes you need for the based on what you need to achieve or accomplish in your purpose. You also need to go through training. You need to
Mm,
go through a development. So,
mm,
and sometimes if you're someone who understands your purpose, you could start as a teacher and gain experience on how to deal with young people and understand the psychology, and then move from there now into community leadership. So you are being built and being developed to be able to deliver the ultimate goal for which you were here. I have experience with footballers, but that's not the end. I also speak with other young career people who are not footballers in that, and I do mentorship for them. At the same time, I also do a kind of how do you say it? I do a kind of framework and system, helping them to build systems around themselves where they can replicate some of the things that they are developing. So I'm not just a footballer. It doesn't end there. Football was a passage.
in, in one of the posts, the publicity sites, we had one of our friends, partners, audiences, members of the audience say that you were his favorite broadcaster.
Okay.
Were you broadcasting somewhere as well?
Oh, I've done a lot of things. So sometimes, because I do also at my former club where I am, Ajax, I do also broadcast. I do podcasts, but I also do TV recordings. So these are different platforms. At the same time, also, I also do coaching on the field. Like as a football coach, I coach my kids, I coach other kids. So there are different avenues with which I find myself to be able
Wow.
to. And I also do, like you mentioned, relationship.
Yes.
I'm talking this, but I'm also involved in relationship.
Yes.
So
Yes. So it's like bringing the entirety of who you are to bear and to bring that influence wherever you find yourself.
exactly,
Oh wow.
exactly.
Tell us about transforming great potentials or transforming great seeds
Mm, yeah,
into great gifts that could be deliverable to the world.
I like there's a book written by Angela Duckworth, where she talks about the great formula,
Mm,
where she's explaining a little bit how why very talented people most times they don't make it.
mm-hmm,
So they lack grit. They've got the talent, they've
mm,
got the seed, they've got the potential. You can see it. When they sing, you see it. When they dance, you see it. When they talk, you see it. But they're not ready to put in the work.
mm.
So the first phase of the grit formula is talent plus effort equals to skill.
Wow.
So whoever has a seed, a potential, a talent, maybe you can sing, maybe you can dance, maybe you can teach, maybe you desire to be a leader or a coach. The first thing you need to do is that you need to put work. You need to expose yourself to work, to practice until what you have become a skill. You don't own it.
I like the way you put it. You said expose yourself to work.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, wait there and let somebody show some work at you that you grumble about. Intentionally step up, expose yourself to work. Keep going, sir. This
As a
is
young man, I had more talented players, footballers around me.
mm, mm.
When we played, I could see they were more talented, but I put grit more than them. And
Yes.
they themselves over time could say, like, we know you're gonna make it. There was no magic to it because I put in more effort than they put. So over time, my level of talent that I had became a skill. Why?
Yes.
The big potential that I saw in them never became a skill. And
Wow.
that's just the first phase.
Wow.
Because even at the level of skill, you still need to continue because growth is progressive. We are
Wow.
always making progress. We are always developing. We're always learning. We're always evolving so that we can tap into the next level of
Mhm,
success. Just
mm.
like an onion is peeled from one layer to another layer to another layer. That's how our success is. Until when you achieve skill, then you become famous.
Yes.
And sometimes those people who achieve skill or become known in the neighborhood, become known in the school, they become
Yes.
confident and they sit back and they start to relax on what they've achieved. You also need to add more effort to
Yes.
that skill. This is what
Yes.
brings achievement.
This is so good. This is so good. Let me do a little recap for myself first. For myself first. And if you're like me, you want to take down notes. And remember, we said this leaders' world exists to bring change in your organization, in your personal life, in your family. And every time we come to you, we want to leave you with at least one action step. So please let us know. You might put it in the chat. You might just write it down. If it's too personal and too private, you don't want to put it out there. But hey, sometimes for accountability, you can
Mm,
put it out there to hold yourself and to let the world hold you accountable.
yeah.
What's your next action step?
Hmm.
What's your next action point? Because talent and effort is what will bring you to that place of skillfulness
Yeah.
where people will start demanding you more and more, and then that fulfillment will keep pushing you further, and as you do more, you're building confidence and gaining confidence and more territory in what you are doing. And if
Mm,
you listen to our special guest, he was talking about work and preparation and the fact that growth is also progressive.
yeah.
We need to tell us about the journey of passion, purpose, and performance. Now that we're talking about preparation, tell us about the journey. Like what stands, what positioning do we need to have while we are in that journey of growing in our purpose and learning how to perform at optimum and maximum performances.
I think it's always a picture ahead of you.
Mm,
The picture ahead of you is what determines your passion, and purpose is key to defining the picture in front of you. Um, I put it this way. I had I knew of a few other footballers. I like using football because it resonates with me. It's a language I speak easily. Their goal was just to play professional football, and their goal was just to sign the first contract. So they put effort, they worked hard, The moment they got it, that was a picture they had, and that was where their progress stopped. So
Mm.
wherever you are at the moment, if you haven't started, the first thing is to have a frame picture. Where do you want to go next? What's the next thing you want to make? And after that, what's the next? So you always have to be in a consistent framing of picture to where
Because
you want to
growth
go.
never stops.
Never stops. Never stops. And if you keep looking at that picture, the picture, you keep looking at it enough, it's going to stir passion, and it's going to stir you to get to performance. It's going to stir passion. And now, when you look at that picture, what do you see? What do you see? When I achieve this, what can that happen? What can that do to me? What can that do to my mom? What can I do to my brothers? What can I do to my neighborhood? Am I going to be the first in my county to be able to show the example, to show the light? Am I going to be the one to give hope to many people who didn't have hope? With this, can I achieve more resources to be able to give a scholarship here? When you begin to see this kind of picture, your passion begins to burn. It's beyond you. It's
Wow.
more about influence. It's more about bringing change and bringing transformation. It's about being a blessing to your generation and getting also that fulfillment. Then your performance cannot stay at a normal level. So
Mm.
every time I say this to myself, every time I find myself in low energy, I find myself like the drive is in there, I'm going to check at the picture. What is the picture I'm looking at? When I redefine that picture, I
Mm.
want to attain that picture. Then I get to work until that picture is fully formed and fully manifested.
Wow, wow. Having that picture in front of you, and I like how you said also having the picture of the value you're going to be adding, and seeing the many people whose lives will be transformed because of your passion, because
Yeah.
of your purpose. Looking at maybe your call to reach out to orphans, looking at the number of orphans whose lives would just be completely transformed because of you, having that picture in front of you, looking at your community, maybe seeing the roads, how the roads have been transformed because of you, just
Yeah.
looking at the educational landscape and how it has been influenced and transformed because of you. And that
Mm.
passion is continually fueled in you.
Yeah.
Hey, what picture do you have? Maybe your one thing that you must do is to make sure that picture is really, really clear. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Eyong Enoh, and we will be right back.
For your corporate and personal needs.
Leaders World Institute, changing lives, one leader at a time.
Wow, wow, wow. We are talking passion, purpose, and performance. And I know that what we are leadership principles, they are timeless, they cut across gender, geographical barriers, age, and all of that. But I was just looking at you as an example of somebody that began way, way young and getting this level of influence, and you have made us proud in every way. Because like the many young people that have been looking up to you, you have kept it going, you have
Mm.
kept it going in every way. Thinking about your online courses you're putting together, you're having trainings here and there, you are writing books, you are keeping it going. How can youths, today's youth, be more strategic in owning their futures?
This is a very interesting and intriguing question.
Mm.
And just like a very powerful Bible verse says, it says, where there's no vision, the people throw off restraint, the people have
Yes.
no direction. I
Yes.
think the first and important, when you have captured purpose, is to be able to define a vision for your life.
Mm.
A vision provokes discipline. A vision gives you something to look forward to.
Mm.
A vision gives you something to own for yourself and to own for the people that will be impacted by it. When you don't have a clear vision for yourself, for your life, and something you're looking forward to, you can become very distracted with other people's success. You can become very distracted with other events happening around you. You can become very distracted with the reasons why it's not possible to do anything, to make anything happen. There will always be one tangible reasons
Nothing is working. What
why
are
not.
you saying? It's
What are
because
you
I
saying?
live here. This
Yeah,
place is bad. This
yeah,
place is not. It's my mom. It's my dad. My
yeah,
uncle.
yeah. So that's the one of the things. When you don't have, when you can't see it, you cannot have a vision that you're looking to. You'll be forced to look into other things that keep dragging you down and giving you the impression that it can't happen, it's
Wow.
impossible.
Oh,
If you don't know this person, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna. This is not gonna happen. But for me, one of the things young people have to do, and every young person, and every successful person who has ever walked the surface of the earth, they had a vision about their life. They focused on that vision, and they kept that vision before them. And one of the things about them was that they believed that everything that happened was a factor contributing for that manifestation of their vision.
wow.
That's how they saw it.
Wow.
Now, today we talk about Martin Luther King. Most people have no clue the reality of his time that he lived in and the real threats that he encountered. And
Mm,
out of millions of people and others who also stood up, but he stood up uniquely, differently. And he looked at that vision that he had to see things change around him and he went for it. He had something to look up to. And that was his drive. That is what begins to bring internal personal transformation, begins to bring personal discipline. Someone asked me, how do you kept yourself all this time? Because there's a vision for my life. There's a vision for how that life is supposed to affect the people around me. There's a legacy that I'm set on. And I have made up my mind and I had to write it down. When it comes to me as a citizen, how is my life like? When it comes to me as a husband, what is that vision for me? When it comes to me as a father, what is that vision for me? When it comes to me as a Christian, what is that vision for me? When it comes to me as just a human being in the earth, what is that vision for me? How do I want to impact my world? And I think the moment every young person starts to see themselves as someone who was sent with a solution, then you start working on how to deliver that solution rather than to talk about the problem.
wait, wait. Listen, if you're watching, can you just put in the chat hashtag I am sent with a solution? This is so good. We can just let it fly off. Put in the chat hashtag I am sent with a solution. So how do we, Ayon, how do we overcome these excuses that hinder us from fulfilling purpose? Because it's when we have the right purpose, that when we understand purpose, that passion is fueled and we can perform maximum and add value in a great way to others. How do we now overcome these excuses? Because it's like they're all around us and it's every day.
Yes, it's all around on us and it is every day. So for me, you always have to look at people who have gone the road that you've gone. Look for them. They're there. Sometimes, if you, like the Bible says, seek, you will find. Ask, you will receive. And knock, and the door will be open. He said, to him that knocketh, the door will be open. To him that asketh, he will receive. Now, if you keep talking about what is wrong, you will never know what is right.
Wait, wait. Did you just throw a pearl of wisdom? Can you just say that again? If you keep
If
talking.
if you keep talking about what is wrong, you will never know what is right.
This is so good. Hmm.
So I'm for those who say they want to bring change, they want to be part of change, they're tired of living a kind of life. And in this tough situation, what should I do? Just lift your head up and look around you. There should be at least one or two or three people who have gone through your journey, have gone through your experience, and they are waving the flag and say, look, we've been where you've been.
Yes.
We've experienced that mindset of it's impossible for us, it can't
Yes.
happen, and
Yeah.
we can help guide you. So mentorship for me is key.
Mm.
Nobody makes it without mentorship as far as life is concerned, whether it is direct mentorship or indirect mentorship.
Yes.
Everyone is influenced by someone, by something, until they begin to develop a kind of philosophy, a kind of
Mm.
ideology that
Yes.
defines their personality. So, what you would want to do is to
Mm.
begin to seek people's philosophy, way of thinking, aligns with the dream you have inside you, what you would like to change
Mm.
around your life.
Mm.
Listen to them, look how they did it, and go ahead, because this is the only way you're going to move. Because you can't reinvent the wheel. There's
Oh
nothing new
yeah.
under the sun,
Oh yeah.
and there's nothing you're facing that someone else hasn't faced before.
Hmm.
There's nothing you're going through that someone else hasn't gone through before.
So if anyone is listening to us now and you're the kind of person who thinks there is no solution anywhere, would I be right to think that maybe it's who they have been listening to?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, if you keep listening to what is wrong, you will never know what is right. Someone who keeps preaching about the problem, the problem, the problem. We need someone who can say, you are part of the solution.
Mm,
You've got the
mm,
solution in your hand. That gift that
yes.
you have, that idea, that skill that you have is part of the solution. If you can develop it, you can start making a change.
Yes.
That's what you need to listen to.
This is so good. So once again, listen. Leadership principles, they are timeless, okay? And we can say these things over and over. If you listen to the Leaders World broadcasts, we're saying kind of like the same things over and over in different ways and bringing
Mm.
different people to say the same kinds of things all over. Listen, it's not going to do you any good if you keep listening to this and you do not take action. But
Yeah.
I know that you are an action taker and that's why you're here. So, what is your one, two, three action steps that you're taking after this? Ladies and gentlemen, I told you we were going to talk a little bit about it. And here it is. Oh my goodness, you have yours. Yes, I got my copy. And I have
I'm
stickers.
happy. I'm happy you got your coffee.
And I have, yeah. You can go to Amazon, you can get your copy, and I'm sure that Enoh will tell us how else we can get it. But when I was going through your book, I discovered that even though the title is How to Become a Successful Professional Footballer, the principles that you enunciate are principles for life.
Yes.
They are principles that can guide anybody to succeed in any field and in
Yes.
every field.
Yes.
What was your inspiration? Why the four P's?
Well, the inspiration came from one of the thoughts I had in my mind. If I were to talk to my younger self or write a book or write a letter to my younger self, what would I say? How would I put it?
Oh,
What
yeah.
principles was I going to give to them? Now, that younger self, mind you, doesn't know yet that they're going to be a footballer.
Yes.
So they could have been something else. They could have been someone else. But since the other one is a footballer, he's going to coin a principle that worked for football, but can also work for anything that that
Yes.
person is going to find himself. And when I explain to a couple of people, I always say, when you look at the book, How to Become Successful Professional, sometimes you have to just close the footballer and just leave it there.
I like that.
And then you find yourself, because you want to be a professional at anything you do.
Yes, I want to be a professional at anything I do.
Yes, you want to be a
Just like that.
pro. You want
Yeah.
to be someone who masters what you do, who is good at what you do, so that you can add value and deliver at
Mm.
maximum capacity. So the four P's was more an aspect of redefining success. In,
Yes.
in in the field where I am, and I'm sure in other fields, success is defined by performance only, and that's a big issue. So if
Mm.
you're very good at what you do, you're top goal scorer, you're signing a big contract, you're performing in day and out. This is success in that milieu. So they elevate you. And I
Mm.
felt like for me too that was not honest. That was not true. It wasn't sincere because a lot of players who had that level of performance and I've seen their lives, when
Yes.
they stopped playing football, they felt unfulfilled. They were sad.
Ooh.
So then for me, that wasn't really true success.
Mm.
And then I thought also again, and I saw a lot of players also who they perform on the field, but most people when they interacted with them had a bad experience.
Yes.
And I discovered that it's not just most people don't remember the performance you did because another person will come and outperform you and he will be the one reigning.
Yes.
But people will never forget how you made them feel.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I felt like this should be the second P, people's personality, your character,
Mm.
developing yourself to
Mm.
become someone who is of good value when it comes to interacting with them. People can experience a personality that is loving, that is kind, that has integrity. This is like the Bible says, a good name is far much better than any resources, any
Yes.
amount of money. And then I also discovered that in my career in football and in many other things in life, people need money. People need money to sponsor stuff. People need money to run things. But shockingly, for someone like me, especially in football, where people train their whole and dream their whole life to play, what they get as money, we have no money knowledge or money education.
Oh, yes.
And then for me, that was a big hit. And I felt like, okay, if you're going to get the performance, you have a good personality, nice, and you get the money, you don't manage it, you still failed in one aspect. And the fourth one for me,
Because retirement comes to everybody.
it comes to everybody. So, and the fourth one for me was purpose. In fact,
Mm.
actually, purpose is the first in it.
It's the
I
first.
didn't take it in order, but purpose is the first. Again, like I said, people who had performed, people who had very nice, people who had money and had invested properly, but they were sad.
Mm.
They were not fulfilled. They felt
Mm.
like there was a void. Something is empty. Something is missing. They are now start. They
Is
can't
that
play.
like is that like looking at the question of balance?
Yes,
Ah.
that's it. That's it. So the goal of the 4P is to have what I call all-round holistic balance success. So
Mm.
you don't trade performance and then you lose relationship. You lose.
Mm.
So a lot of sports people have traded their performance at the expense of their families. And I went through that experience also, where you're celebrated on the field as a hero, but to your family, you're not there. You're
You're not
absent.
there.
You're not a hero to your family. You're a hero to
Tell us a
your
little bit
fans.
about busting the balloon bubble. Tell us about the balloon bubble.
Well, the balloon bubble is a kind of world where the young footballer or any other professional jumps into and becomes completely disconnected from every other thing around. So you're 4 years, no, let's say 6 years old, you keep dreaming about playing football and becoming a top professional football. So you're about training, eating meals, training, coming back, playing games, going, staying with football, teammates. So out of that context, you don't have a life. If they
Mm.
take you out of there, you're lost. You don't know who you are. You can't interact with people because your whole identity has become
And
built
this
around.
actually applies to every profession because I have known people who have been at other jobs, maybe working with the government in one field or the other, and when they retired, their lives went down the drain really fast, and some of them even died.
Yeah.
So it's like their entire life was wrapped around that office that
Mm,
they went to every day.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why I think what you wrote is really really important for all of us to 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 read. And this book was forwarded by Samuel Etofis, who is the football star who and he's currently the president of the Cameroonian Football Association. You want to get a copy of this book for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Eno, how do we get these copies?
Well, you can order the copy on Amazon. It's present on Amazon. You can also get it on Kindle Read, and
Okay.
you can read it online. For those who are in Africa, I think they have some challenges with Amazon, but I'm working on getting some points in Africa where people can get the book. So that's coming in the coming weeks and months.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. We are talking passion, purpose, and performance. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, please put 3Ps in the chat. Let's know you're there. Let's interact. And if you have a question or questions, this is your time to ask those questions because we are running down to the last 7 minutes. What is the best way to invest in others?
Oh, what a question. What is the best way to invest in others?
Don't I just know how to ambush my guests?
You're so good at it. You're so good at it. You're so good at it. I think there are a lot of ways to invest in others, and different people have different dynamics in which they do that. I'll talk about me and talk about other people. Some
Mm,
people do it just by telling their stories, through their stories and being honest, not
yes.
painting it, just being honest. And I've seen that over time talking to young footballers, telling them the mistakes I made, telling them things I didn't know. Some are real mistakes, but some are just lack of knowledge,
Yeah.
and how it's important for them to begin to empower themselves to get more knowledge so that they don't get into the same thing. And by doing that, you're already investing something in them. You're already empowering them. You're already, and I think mentorship for me should be the word. You empower people by mentoring them, especially in your field. And knowledge is powerful, because when you don't know certain things, you're left in the blank. And until you might go and transition this earth without even knowing it, and it can become generational. And that's
Yeah,
really terrible.
it's
So
it.
knowledge in the field where you are is so important, and those who have it, if you have it, make sure you add value to other people. For me, that's the way I really want to give back to other people, is to share my knowledge. And that's why 4P that I created is not just a management agency, it's an educational agency also, because
Wow.
it's the missing link that is in my career, the sport world. We've got performance driven, we've got resources driven, but we lack education. So person himself who is performing is not built up through education. That's why you can see their personality is not expressive, is not strong, is not authoritative, is not poised, because there's a lack of educational aspect
Mm,
in it. So
mm.
for me, giving back is about mentorship and education.
Wow, wow, wow. So tell us a little bit about, you just talked about sometimes it's just being authentic and sharing with others your journey. That can be the big investment that you're doing in someone's life. Would you want to share with us what experiences have helped you believe more in your ability to make a difference in the lives of others? What experiences have helped you more to believe in your ability to make a difference in the lives of others?
Well, as a young man, I remember when my purpose became clear for me a couple of years ago. As a Christian, for me, purpose was properly defined because of my relationship with God. And in my time of prayer, I knew that I could not discover purpose elsewhere, because you need to connect to your creator, your source, to find out the original plan he had for you. That for me was the beginning. But again, it was about me just doing that which I was born to do. I had really had no clue of the dynamics effect it would have on other people. So along the line, when I started seeing myself in the national team and how young people responded to it, it made me know how powerful and how serious and how transformative and how impactful me just obeying and just following a direction of purpose and putting grit to fulfill a certain passion and dream can begin to spill off on other people. If I would focus on what I've been born to do, called to do, the impact becomes self reflective.
Yes.
I was not doing it because I wanted to influence people. I was doing it because I knew this was an opportunity for me to grow, to do
Yeah.
something, and just express all the potential that was in me. And so when I went for it 100%, over time, definitely, when the tree is planted, the tree grows up, the fruits is going to attract people to come there. So
Mm.
people began to see the fruits And they were like, how? It's possible. The fruit is nice. It's nice. We love the fruits. And so that's how for me was the key thing that really helped me to be in that position where it was more about just fulfilling purpose. And I saw that it started influencing other people. Then I knew this was serious. Then I knew if one person, young people started writing me emails like, we've seen you and we want you to tell us how you made it. We want to be like you. And my first thing that I always responded to them, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be like you. But I will share the principle that helped me become me so that
Okay,
you can
wait,
use it.
wait. You're talking about sharing principles. That's awesome. Now, because we only have about 2 minutes, can you let us into some of your secrets? What are some things that you do either on a daily basis or on a regular basis that are molding you and shaping you into the person that we see in public? What are some of those daily habits that, who knows, we might want to copy some of them and say, hey, oh, well, if he did it and it made him who he is, I think I could start doing this too. What are some
Well,
of those habits that make your days and your weeks?
one of my secrets, which I think is no secret because I talk about it openly and everyone knows about it, is my personal relationship with God, my personal
Hmm.
relationship with Jesus, and it's the foundation of almost everything I do. I would say everything I do, and for me, that's key. There's nothing. My purpose comes from this relationship, and
Yes.
wherever I'm going is in line with this my relationship. So it's not just from the first moment, but it's on an everyday basis. I want to get clarity. I want to know exactly what he wants from me and how I can continue to impact my generation in a way that when I take off, it can continue, not just a once in a time. So for me, that's number one. Number two is the ability to want to learn, to always read and learn. That's the secret for me. You never, the moment you think you know, then you don't know.
Mm.
The moment you think you know something, then you don't know. The moment you feel like you've gotten a grip of thing, then actually you've lost the grip of it. So for me, actually, it's always about wanting to learn. That's a key thing for me. Wanting to learn, wanting to read, wanting to listen, and so I can pick. Another thing for me, another secret is asking questions. Jesus's life is Jesus is the greatest human being who ever lived. He's also the wisest man that ever lived. But the thing is, he had so much answers that people didn't pull out of him. And
Ooh.
so one of the things I learned was that if you don't ask questions, you don't get answers. So for me, I ask questions. In my relationship with God, I ask questions. With people, I'm learning also to ask questions because the answer is always next to you. The thing you didn't get is because you didn't ask it.
Hmm.
So my relationship with the Lord, the ability to learn, asking questions, and I think humility is a powerful factor also. I've learned that he who elevates themselves that will be brought down, and the people will always want to serve. You see, you will
And
always
you
be in
know,
a position of strength.
especially this aspect of humility is something which marvels me about you. Because in our relationship and our conversations, I'm always like, most people don't do like this.
Ah.
He's so humble. Like, wait, he's so different. Like when I read your messages to me, I read your text, and I'm like, hmm, okay. So all the fame and wealth has not changed him. Instead, he's gotten better. I'm just like, wow, 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 wow. Um, People are watching, and many people will be watching. We have this on YouTube, we have this on Facebook, we'll have this on LinkedIn, we'll have this in a podcast. What would you tell the audiences that have come here just to listen to your wisdom? What would you tell them if you had a final word to give them today? What would that be?
The final word I'll tell them is that go back to the drawing board, redefine your purpose. What you define as purpose yesterday may not what is defined as purpose for you today.
Mm,
Redefine it and always make sure purpose is clear for you.
okay.
If you don't define, your purpose is not clearly defined to you today, your passion would be wrongly applied.
Mm,
Paul the apostle did that. He had so much zeal, he was killing people thinking he was fulfilling purpose. And when he
mm,
discovered it, it was like, wow, it's clear to me now. I'm going to apply my passion in the right direction. So
mm.
your purpose, you have to redefine it again. Go back to the drawing board. Make sure it's a duty. Every time, take some time out to look at your purpose. Have clarity on it. Second, your passion is defined by the picture. When purpose is clear, put a picture in front of you. What is the next goal you want to achieve? And when I say picture, you can have a bigger picture, but you can have small pictures. So, for example, I have a picture of tomorrow when I wake up in the morning, the things I want to do. Those are goals, and I have to put them in picture because pictures, when you put things as pictures, your mind captures it and stores it as a memory. And every time something around you, which is connected to that picture, it will trigger it. But when you don't have something to mirror it with, it becomes difficult. Your mind is trying to create something which it could have captured already. So
Yes.
put it in small goals format and as a picture in front of you. And when it comes to performance,
Yes.
performance is work. You would have to work. You can't this thing. I didn't write a book. When I start writing the book, I didn't know it was work. But it took work to get
Work.
the book. It takes work to be on this leader's world. You see, this great leader that is here having me on this. She's doing a lot of work in the background. All you see here, you think is just two people talking, but the work she's putting in, nothing happens without work. So you have
Yes.
to redefine your work ethic.
Mm.
So redefine purpose, passion will take another direction, and then your work ethic. If you have been putting 1 hour, you have to step up because it's not going to get you where you want to go to. You need to step up your work ethic. And today is Labor Day where people are celebrating in different places of the world. A work, 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 work. You have a seed, you don't plant it, you get nothing. You have to
Mm.
work to get the seed harvest. So work, work, I would say, is what is going to get the things that we're looking at. Passion, purpose, and performance. What does it produce? Influence, impact, achievement, change, progress, and development.
This is so good. It's a whole book on its own. This is so, so good. This is not my favorite time of the show. Why? Because we get to let you go. But because we have to be respectful of your time and your commitment to your tribe. You know, I call your kids your tribe and your beloved wife, your beautiful beloved wife, Bernadette, because we have to be respectful of your commitments to them. We have to let you go. But thank you so, so much for saying yes to our invitation. Flying from another country and just texting me, I'll keep in touch. I'm reaching my home by this time. Let's hope. And then, boom, you reach home. 1 minute you connect, and you are here pouring all of this. We don't take it for granted. We are saying thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you're there, put in the chat once again, I am sent with a solution. Let us know your action point for today, and we'll see you next time.
For your corporate and personal needs.
Leaders World Institute. Changing lives. One leader